We are live on location. In fact, we're just about to have a conversation with Sheila. Sheila, hello. Hello, Sheila.
Hey.
Wagwan.
What's good? What's good, Kevin? Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
We're going to be introducing the panel and then get right into the conversation. Of course, remember, Leo tunataka get to the bottom of why we're having issues with the police. Can you imagine a public, guys, can you imagine a public where you're supposed to have police serve and protect, and constantly it's like we're in fighting. In fact, if anything, right now you have people complaining about massive police brutality, and then on the other end, on the extreme, is the public actually now, some people have taken matters into their own hands. And the reality is, would you have ever imagined something like this, like say 10 years ago, 5 years ago? So we are aware that this generation needs to be leading the conversation about how we can repair relations with police and see how also the police, what part does the public play and what part does the police play. So this is a conversation we're going to be having, Kevin. I'm so excited to be here. I'm going to introduce you to the panel. I don't know what's happening on your end. What are they saying?
Hello? Sheila?
Hello, Kevin, can you hear me? Yes.
Yeah, just say it again, please. I think I missed that one.
So on our end, us guys are ready to start the conversation. I can see we've posted it on hashtag Mjadala. We're asking, let's talk about police and the people are fighting back. What's going on and where do we go from here? So us guys are ready. What's happening on your end?
Well, there's a lot of conversations actually right now on the hashtag Kwambox and Kev, and we want to drive it on our social media. Guys, you can also stream live, by the way. It's www.vibesradio.co.ke. So Sheila, you can just take it away. You can lead the conversation from your area. Remember, it is at the University of Nairobi at Taifa Hall right about now. So I think we're good to go. Let's just kick it off.
All right. So before we get started, I don't know if you know anything about Kwambox. Like kabla nianze conversation yoyote lazima watu wa dance. So DJ Young, umeiongelesha watu asubuhi saa zile hawaja warm up. So we can have a serious conversation before you warm up. And guys, watu ni wa young kwa podium, so we got a DJ Young tuweke mziki yenye Jamaica, sijui ni nini, watu wachangamke. And then we get right into the conversation. Guys, remember you are live on Vibes Radio, and we are streaming live from Taifa Hall. DJ Young.
Yep.
Rock me, baby. Rock me out here on the floor. Rock me, baby. Rock me till I want no more. It is nice and a place full of ladies. The smell of perfume fills the air. The mood is right. Come hold me tight, girl. Let's dance romance while we still have the chance. Girl, rock me, baby. drop. Or you want somebody sweet, lovers rock, rock. And if you know have a partner, you get knock, knock. Mr. Selector, could you take it from the top, let him continue to rock me, baby. I know you want to, girl. Rock me out here on the floor. I won't fall asleep. Rock me, baby.
All right. Oh my God. How you guys feeling? When we warm up, usiku umechoka sisa, tujaanza conversation. We have not yet started. So, all right. Thank you so much, guys, for, you know, dancing with me. I appreciate it. And of course, for those who are tuned in, remember we are live on Morning Vibes. And today we're doing things just a bit different. You can stream in live using that link. That's vibesradio.co.ke. Get to see what's happening here. Today's a very special day because we have brought the big conversation, Mjadala, court of public opinion, on location. And today we said, let's bring it to your end, what to scare what exactly people are saying. So this is a platform that we have on our show every single morning, weekday morning. And today the conversation I wanted to have a sober conversation. Guys, this is something that affects each and every one of us. Ukikuwa kwa shida kwa nyumba ni nani unapigia? Si ni karao? Kama karao unamwona kaa adui, si itakuwa shida? Na kama wewe kama public unaona, okay, ni adui wangu, how are you going to treat your enemy? And so this is an institution that definitely, clearly needs to be respected for it to work, but something has broken down. And so we want to have a sober conversation and see what exactly is going down. And I know that we tried to reach out to the police. We tried to reach out to the police spokesperson to be part of this conversation. We weren't successful. We did try to reach out to IPOA to get them, but we are grateful that we have the students here and we've got a representative from Haki Africa. So what we're going to do, I'm going to start from the extreme right. We're just going to quickly introduce ourselves, the panel, and get to know who we are before we start this conversation.
Thank you very much. It's a good morning. I'm happy to be here. My name is Ivanda Onyango, Governor, College of Architecture and Engineering.
Yes.
Yeah, University of Nairobi Students Association. I also serve as the Chair Council of Governors. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Zaina Kombo and I represent Haki Africa.
Haki Africa.
Morning. Ruto Irimu Charlotte, first female governor, Upper Kabete campus, University of Nairobi.
Whoa, first female governor. I like the sound of that.
Good morning. I am Eddie Mwendwa. I'm the president for the University of Nairobi Students Association.
Good morning, Kenya. I'm George Regan, the governor in campus. I'm playing the host right now.
Good morning. My name is Cliff Okechonyango, Chairperson Students Association of Technical University of Kenya.
All right. Thank you guys so much for being a part of the conversation. So I'm going to start with what is going on. Last year, I'm going to start with you. Last year, we saw what we could call a spike in reports. I call it a spike in reports of police brutality. You as a student leader, were students bringing these concerns to you?
First of all, we came into office in November.
Mm-hmm.
So as pertains cases before November, we were not being involved by the students.
Mm-hmm.
But last year we had a very increased number of police brutality cases,
Mm-hmm.
especially around the time when the COVID hit
Mm-hmm.
and the curfew was put in place.
Yeah.
We could see police across the country acting above their powers and actually beating people who they found outside past curfew hours.
Yeah.
And it is a common occurrence when you look at this because I think they lack accountability for their actions.
Mm-hmm.
And they will always do this as long as there's no one to hold them accountable. So there was an increase in the cases. And I think we really need to look at the situation before it gets out of hand, as you've said.
Yeah.
Because it's becoming a common occurrence nowadays to see the public fighting back.
Yeah.
And it's the police. So
I gotta ask you a question. My listeners, I mean, we represent reggae to the fullest. Now, say usema sana sana mazee. Mimi nimeshika hapa na karao, ameninyoa dreadi, amenishika. Wewe ni mse uko na dreadi mazee. Msicheke, hizi ni stories za ukweli. Imagine karao anakushika anakushave. Unashanga kwani kuna utumishi barber shop inafanyika huko kwa polisi. But have you ever experienced being harassed by the police?
Personally, I've come across police who want to go above their powers and act ultra-virus.
Yeah.
But I'm a law student. I'm from Parkland's law campus.
So unajua the law.
Yeah, so I know the law and I know the limits they can go to. And I stand for what is right, and I cannot allow for them to behave in a certain manner.
Basically, umse hajaishi kwa na karao. Because I'm trying to see you talking to a cop and saying, I know the law, I stand for what's right. Ingia hapo ndani kijana toa kiatu.
Actually, when you challenge them, they step back. I think as a population, we are so afraid of the police that you don't want to stand up for your rights. But when you do, they take a step back.
All right, we're going to come back to you and standing for your rights. You are nodding your head. You're saying, you're not agreeing.
Yeah. I'm not agreeing with him, but objectively,
yeah,
you cannot reason with the Kenyan police.
Why is that?
Actually, I'm a victim. Let me confess that in the elections that we had, that saw me being here.
Which elections?
I received my result at the UNSA elections. I received my result inside a police cell.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm a victim, and I also tried to reason with them. That is how I got myself inside. So deeply, I think the major challenge, we had a spike in the case of police brutality. It is something that has been there since time immemorial. From my take, I think Kenyan government, when we got independence, we adopted the British system of administration. The British system of administration at the police body, whereby those people are trained so that they can protect the administration, not to protect the people. So the way of the work of the police has been protect the administration and not the people. So that is now the enmity that has been there between the general public and the police system. Other than that, we may not also point hand at the police, but the moment it is a prejudice as well, because most of the actions of the police, if they don't go well with the people in the society, it will elicit a mixed reaction for them. And one of the reactions will be on, you will target them back. So this is now the case whereby there's a bad blood. I can say there's a bad blood existing between the general public and the police system, meaning that the moment you as an individual, when you see those men in uniform, you view him as an enemy. Likewise, on his side, when he sees you, he views you as also an enemy. So when opportunity comes whereby, not crossing each other line, but just walking towards the same, you feel like engaging each other in a fight. Beyond that, I think measures that we need to put in place is how are our police, what are they training, the training system, what are they being trained towards? What are these policemen trained toward? Are they being told like, maybe let me do a comparison with what was experienced recently in the States, United States of America. Any other person who is in the mainstream media, if you view the way the police people, the police handle people in the West is quite different to the Kenyans way. For them, they are there not only to protect, if it was a given premise, but also to protect also these people that are protesting. But you know, Kenya, however much protest, this thing of protest demonstration are constitutionally provided for, it will never be provided by the police. The moment a police see you, because frustrations also come. You know, however much we can also advance our grievance using the diplomatic approach, dialogue and the rest. Whenever it fails, you may sort now to take that, not anger, but the frustrations now outside so that you may give out result. When you engage a Kenyan police in such an aspect, he will not view you that whatever you are doing is something which is provided for, but he will view you as an enemy. Why? He is protecting what? The administration which is there.
All right. He brings a very interesting point. He talks about the police are there to protect the administration and not the public. Is this how everybody feels? Is this how you feel? Ruto, talk to me. He's saying that you can reason with the police. Do you think you can reason with the police?
Actually, I actually support him. You can't reason with the police in Kenya. I've never been arrested, but I have friends who have been arrested. Firstly, these people are given the mandate to protect the people. But in March, since COVID started and they implemented the curfew laws, you meet people talking about, the police are killing us more than the way COVID is killing us, which is very dangerous. Because if I trust in you, if I have an emergency or something is happening to me, and I trust that I can call you and you help me, but if you come to the vicinity or you come to the scene and you can't do that, or maybe I have a negative affiliation towards you, yani najua huyu msee akikuja hapa, maybe hata rule the case in my favor, or maybe the person won't be just to me. Hata mimi mwenyewe, there's that barrier I have with the police, whereby even you see students, when students are walking somewhere, hata kwa barabara, even if the student has no mistake or nothing, if he sees the police, they tend to run or do something else. Because we have a negative affiliation towards them. Yani unajua, these people are harsh or mean to people. And the worst thing, during COVID, these people aren't mean only to us, even to our parents, even to the elderly people in the community. And from the way he said, looking at states, we had George Floyd. He passed away because the police brutality. And seeing it, people had to riot because there was a video. And the best thing about our current generation, we have media. The media whereby you can send any video today, a police doing something. So the difference between Kenya and states is that George Floyd, the police, there was actually action which was done. But I remember there was a case in Kenya whereby a certain youth was shaved, the dread, ilienda. And also, alipigwa sana. Aliendea kila kitu, he followed the law, but nothing was done. Which is very, 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 very dangerous to us. Because whatever we're instilling in our generations to come, these people, the people who are younger than us, even the people who are coming, they come with that phobia, knowing the police. See, they're not the people to trust.
Hey, Zaina, sijui kama unasikia, anasema police phobia. I'm listening to him saying he can reason with the police, he knows his rights. He's saying, from my experience, his experience is, they can't reason. And she's saying the students are phobic of the police. Haki Africa, you of course work with different cases, police brutality being one of them. Can Kenyans, like she was talking, they've both mentioned what happened in the States, George Floyd, you see this video and you go to the streets. Is it possible to have a protest in Kenya that doesn't end in violence?
Such a tricky question. Such a tricky question. Well,
let me rephrase. Without it ending with the police kulishaing you tear gas. Namateke.
It is possible, but I can't even tell you what it depends on. Because, okay, the law is clear that you're supposed to notify them. But we have a very recent case, and I would not want to go deep into it, but it is possible. But you just don't know how. You just never know. Let me just say that. You never know how it ends. Because sometimes you don't even want to really protest. You just want to read a statement, for example. But because of other interests, like in our case, diplomatic interests, certain things have to be done so that it's not shown that the government is supporting one side of. You get what I mean?
But what about a case where, for example, I know that there have been incidents where University of Nairobi, maybe as you've lost a student because of something, and then the next thing we're seeing the students going on the streets, and then the next thing, the whole city is in chaos because now you can't drive Suju where the police have come with tear gas. What does it entail?
The challenge comes with the demeanor and the way you present yourself during the protest. Because unfortunately, some other bad elements, for the lack of a better word, join you guys also, do all manner of things, and then it looks like it's you guys who have organized and people are now looting. Others, pickpocketing. So unfortunately, there are certain things you can't quite control, but they end up, mixing up with your peaceful demonstration. And when that happens, if someone else, calls the alarm and says, this is becoming too much, or if someone not in your demonstration, for example, throws a stone, and that stone hits a car, you see, that's private property damaged. Then they have to do something. And unfortunately, what they do is not talk to you peacefully. We know what they do.
They will come in violence.
Unfortunately.
Now, just to steer you a bit into some of the things that we want to talk about, police brutality is one thing. I think we've all mentioned how police brutality we've seen videos, we've seen people trying to protest police brutality and are met with more brutality. But then an interesting thing is happening. We're seeing videos of Kenyans fighting back. As in, unasimamishwa na polisi kwa traffic, anakuongelesha in a certain style. You know how police talk, eh? So umesukumwa hapo, and the next thing you decide, unashika ukarao mashati. 10 years ago, you could not have imagined anything like this happening. What has changed? What has changed?
In short, Kenyans are fed up. I mean, even, okay, let me take it out of context. Even gender-based violence. Say it's a man being beaten, not even the woman. So every day he comes in, he's drunk, or he's whatever he is, and you're there busy assaulting him, beating him up. One day he'll turn against you, just like the way women do turn against their men. So it's the same thing. We are all human. No one is a stone here. So we are seeing this police brutality, police harassment. And even if it's not me who's touched, but that person could be my neighbor, my husband, my wife, my sister, my brother. At the end of the day, it's one society. And when we have a number of these cases going on, and you see the legal process is unfortunately slow here in Kenya. And ordinary mwananchi does not understand that, there has to be evidence, there has to be this step done, this step done. So people don't understand. So they're like, why is so-and-so, killed and nothing has happened? They don't understand that investigations are still going on, for example. So there's been a lot of bile. And so right now, and because of social media, things go viral very quickly. So whatever is happening in Mombasa, people are seeing. As far as Kisumu, Wajir, call it. The whole country is seeing. So it comes a time when now people are starting to retaliate.
So guys, you're saying Kenyans are fed up? All right.
In simple words.
We're gonna take a short break. Give a chance to the listeners to also. I know you're tuned in right now using that hashtag Kwambox and Kev. You can join the conversation. Tell us what you're thinking. I want to shout out Tyson Lavaza, who's tuned in right now. Do remember the big conversation is going on, and we want you to join us. Ask questions. Chime in. CEO Josh and some of the police stick to their actual work, maintaining law and order, and avoid taking themselves as geniuses. They should be dealing with criminals and treat people in a reasonable manner. Speaking of treating people reasonably, how many agree with what this guy said, that you can reason with the police? Who agrees with him?
It's calling her.
You agree with him? You think you can reason with the police? All right. Anyway, I'm sorry you're in. All right. We're going to take a few calls. Kevin, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear, Sheila.
All right. Let's speak to some listeners, find out what they have to say. Of course, the conversation here is getting hot. Kuna msee hapa ametuambia yeye akishikwa na karao na kuna dredi atarizon nao kwa sababu amesoma law. And you see, there are people who honestly, wao wakiongelesha karao wako na ile confidence. Umesimama kwa traffic pale alafu msee anasema let me do the talking. Wewe sasa hiyo ushashuka, ushaanza kukimbia na ni gari yako. Ni akina hawa sasa. Kevin, what's happening on your end?
So there's a massive conversation regarding what you're talking about, what's happening at at Taifa Hall, of course, University of Nairobi. But I think right now it's only fair if we get some calls, because I believe the people who have questions and want to engage with you. And I don't know if you're ready about that. Ready for that right now? Can you talk?
Tuko tayari.
Let's do this. We're gonna talk to Tehuti right now, all the way from Karatina. Hello, Tehuti.
Yeah, Kevo.
Karibu sana bana, my brother.
Nimeshukuru sana, uko aje?
Tuko sawa sana. Of course, umesikia Sheila is on the ground at Taifa Hall in University of Nairobi, Mjadala. We're talking about police brutality. Sheila, have you got questions? Can you receive some questions from Tehuti? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes.
Hello, Tehuti.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Kevo.
Hit us with the questions.
All right, so just throw your question. Have you got any question for Sheila, Tehuti?
Yeah. I've got a question for that guy who said he can liaison with the police.
Okay.
Tell him.
Yeah. Tehuti, I can hear you.
That, do you think police respect the Article 31 of the Kenyan Constitution, which says
Yes.
you have right to your privacy, you have right not to be searched,
Yeah.
your property searched, or your house,
Yeah.
except a police having a warrant.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a police respect that clause of Constitution?
Yes.
Then the second thing is,
Yeah.
I want to say that the police, even from the beginning when the police were created by the British administration,
Yes.
they were not created to serve people. They were created actually to instill fear, and they even go to an extent of killing people who go against the British administration.
Right.
And we have not changed that. Actually, when they go to Kiganjo campus, they are told that the public, is an enemy of police.
Yes.
Yeah, so I want to ask those guys, do you think we can reach a point where we can negotiate or we can coexist harmoniously with police, or we can just do away with the whole police thing and everyone take control of protecting one another and protecting the national property?
So we hear you. Thank you so much, Tehuti. Sheila, did you hear the question?
Okay.
Sheila, did you get the question, Sheila? Hello, Sheila.
All right. Thank you so much for that question, Tehuti. Yes, absolutely.
Throw it back to you, Sheila. Maybe you can throw it to the panelists.
All right. Thank you so much,
All right.
Kevin.
Thank you so much, Kevin. So we got a listener who's called in and he's asking. First, he said, this question is to you. He agrees with you. He says that that police were actually not created to serve the public. They were served to protect the administration. And he says that at Kiganjo, they're taught that Raia ni enemy. And so he asks you, do you think police have a right to, can allow you to have the right to privacy, meaning that when they come to arrest you or when they come to search you or, do their police work, that they will first provide a warrant? Anauliza, unaona kama tutaifika hiyo place, yani police anakuja kwako anakuambia, okay, this is the police, you have the right to remain silent, alafu anakuprovidea warrant, alafu ndio anakunywa ready.
I think the situation as it is right now, they are not doing that, and unless we have structures in place to make them accountable, they will not do it. But also we can't just sit back and say they operate in such and such a manner and we should allow it to operate, because when it comes to governance and the way the structure is, it is a social contract. Law was created to solve such mischiefs. We are in a society because all of us give up our rights and gives the government the power to govern us and the police to govern us, so that there's peace and order. So when it comes to handling the police, we have to allow them to enforce. But as they enforce, they have to be accountable. They have to follow the law, the rule of law. So I'd like to touch on what she was saying on the public fighting back first before I get to the question. I think it is possible to reason with the police, but as she was saying, you do not know what determines who reasons or does not reason.
Yeah.
The public fighting back can be taken as primal instinct. It's inherent in all creatures, even a rat. A rat, if you chase it around the house and you corner it someplace in a corner and it has no way out, it will fight back. And that is an animal that has no brain.
Yeah.
Consider now a human being who has brain, who has rights and knows he can fight back.
So you're saying it's inevitable?
It is inevitable, considering the direction they are going to. But we also have to uphold the rule of law. We have to fight them within the legal framework. So as I was saying, it is possible to reason with them, but reason within a legal framework.
Reason when you don't have dreadlocks. All right, we're gonna take a short break. I like the direction that we've taken. He insists that they need to be held accountable. But let's be real. In this country, we have great laws, but enforcing them and following up on them is usually the biggest challenge. And I like that you said that it has to be within the constraints of the law, and that they must follow those guidelines. But the truth is, there are some errant. There are those who have gone their errant ways, and they're doing their own thing, which has led the public in, also to be fearful of the police. We're going to come back and have this conversation. A lot of messages coming in on Facebook.
That's right.
Including, shout out to Judhufu, who's listening in right now, and James Osher, who says, my only question is, why makarao husumbua wase wa boda hivo maze? Wanawangaisha hapa Kanairo maze, wengine hata hawana hatia. So we're going to talk about, we're going to come back and talk about, now let's get into the conversation of fighting back, right? And you're saying it's primal instinct, but how come this primal instinct has just recently kicked in? What has happened? Because police wamekuwa hapo. We're going to come back to that. DJ Young, I know you're ready to take us on a musical journey. Remember, you are live on Morning Vibes, and we are live on location at University of Nairobi, Taifa How.
Catch the vibes on air and online.
Massive shout out to you wherever you are. Of course, kumbuka kama unataka kuzungumza nasi tumia hashtag Kwambox and Kev. Alafu pia on Facebook we are Vibes Radio.
A lot of messages coming in.
A lot of messages coming in. Of course, conversation, big conversation we call Mjadala Court of Public Opinion, and we're so grateful that today we have brought it live to the public, UON. And tuseme tu kweli, if you're not talking to students, sisi kama Vibes Radio, if you're not talking to students, basi tunaongelesha nani? They say that the average age of a Kenyan is 19 years old. 19. So yani sasa hivi venye tunaongea sasa hii kuna msee amepata tu na karao. Hata kwanza in fact hivi venye tunaongea I have it on good authority kwa hii stage yetu hivi sasa hapa. Kuna waswali kwa late kwa sababu alishikwa na makarao. According to wewe wange reason. Sindio? Wange reason na makarao. Now, a lot of comments coming in case you're just tuning in. We're talking about police brutality, and we're also mentioning and talking about how the public is fighting back and what is causing this. Is this a cause for concern? Because let's be real, police see individual, police ni ofisi. It's a structure. You said we've given people power to enforce. So all of us fall under, we must respect that. But clearly there's respect, it's a give and take, and kuna kitu imevunjika hapo. So we ask, there's a question on Twitter to Moliza, can you reason with the police? Zipi hapa amesema, no, they will make it sound like you're being rude to them, as if you know the police has no grounds to arrest you, you can resist them, you have no right to argue. Why are you being arrested or trying to prove your innocence at the time of the arrest? One gentleman has come in on Facebook, anaitwa James Washira, anasema there's a scenario, I was standing in CBD waiting for matatu. Karao finds me there. The next minute, I'm taken handcuffed. The next minute, I'm taken to Kamkunji. They start telling me, kijana siongee. Sasa, mimi nashindwa kuongea aje. Kumbe, wanadai pesa. Sasa mimi nilikuwa na hatia gani? Standing there, waiting for matatu. There's a lot of corruption amongst the Karao, mazee inauma sana. Now, corruption ni kitu yenye hata wakifanya, unajua zile exams za performance zile za who has been the most corrupt. Wanataningi wanakuanga nika number 1 consecutively years in a row. Hakuna msee anaweza compete na wao. Hii title ni yao. Close second kujanga, I think ministry ya lands hapo, lakini on traffic sana kwanza hao ndio wanakuanga at the very top. Is corruption what is causing the breakdown in police venye wao behave? Unafikiri ni corruption ndio ina lead mse adu hizo vitu zote zenye ziko crazy? I'm going to ask you. I'll give you my mic.
Okay. I have 3 points. We have a disconnect with the police because of several reasons. The first one is their poor training. I don't know how these guys are being trained, but from the videos I watch, waenda wanapanda milima, they beat rocks. So their training is more of ile ya kuche stamp. So when they come out, they want to use us as their training. They come to ile attachment. They come and train on us.
Okay.
And it has reached a point whereby we can't absorb that anymore. Because we also have failed system. Normally, if a police comes to arrest me, he should identify himself. Then now he explains why he wants to do that. But hapa Kenya unapata nakuja tu amesha kufunga, unakuwa frog match, unaona?
Yeah.
Na unajua ukishaenda huko, it's either ni pesa, ama uende court, na huko ita take ages.
Yeah.
Unaona?
Yeah.
So the only hope unabaki nayo ni kuwagonga. And it happens.
Yeah.
With these hard economic times, watu wana pesa. You can imagine unakuwa arrested, they want at 500 or 1,000 bob.
So unasema msi anashika karao mashati kwa sababu unasema hizi na hiyo sotana utashika hii ngumi mbwegze.
Na kienda hata court atateka hata 2 months huko. Unaona? Wow. So fadhali utoroke hata uende.
Okay. Yeah. So what I'm hearing, something that keeps being brought up is that training ya makarao ni off. How many of you agree? How many of you mnasema hiyo training ni off? Nyinyi mmeona hiyo training wapi? Nani hapa amefika hapo nani yeye ametest hiyo training? Because people keep throwing this line that makarao hawajatrainiwa fiti. Another thing he raised anasema karao akikwa arrest lazima aji-identify. This is true, Zaina. That you must identify and then tell the person why you're arresting them. Makarao wanajua hivyo? Wanafaa kujua. Ongea kwa mic.
Makarao wanafaa kujua kwamba unafaa unaambia msee kwa nini unamshika. Kitu ya pili, wasee pia wanafaa kujua kwamba haifai mtu awekwe pingu. Pingu ni ile mtu mwenye ame resist arrest. Kama wewe mwenyewe umekubali ya kwamba unashikwa, unafaa kutembea hadi police station. Na hiyo issue ya kusema training ya polisi iko off. Polisi issue ya training inaanzia from recruitment. Kwanza unapata recruitment ya polisi haiko straight. Lazima utoweka kitu ndio uandikwe. So awase wote wenye wameandikwa, unapata msee mwingine hajafika hizo qualifications zenye huhitajika ndio aandikwe polisi, but juu kwa sababu ametoka kitu anachukuliwa. Na kisha chukuliwa akifika huko kwa training, after training wakikuja huko kwa ground vitu inakuwa tofauti. Hakukuwa kwanza amequalify kukuwa polisi, lakini ako kwa force. So wakati katiba ilibadilishwa, polisi ikabadilishwa ikakuwa police service. Ikachangewa from police force ikakuwa police service. Tukadhani labda vitu itabadilika kidogo. Lakini vitu bado ni vile.
Na mtu akisema kwamba makarao are not treated well, the way they are paid, remuneration, where they stay. Umeona manyumba za karao unyoa se? Ungekuwa karao hata ungekuwa unamkia unatapa kila mtu. But I'm not advocating for that. But I'm saying there are people who say, unaweza kasirisikia msee asubuhi anakuringia. Na umetoka hapo kwa mabati hapo nyuma tu. And apparently they're even co-sharing some of these spaces. And you're looking at these spaces like, how? You know? So are these some of the examples, are these some of the reasons that could be constituting to why, you know, a policeman would say, listen, mina collect to do?
Of course. Definitely. And leave alone the housing, mental status. Let's agree.
What do you mean by that?
These guys are also not okay upstairs. Not because they're schizophrenic, but it's because of the things they see on a daily.
Wait, so you're saying there's some PTSD involved here?
Yes. and ask them when was the last time they got counseling or even debriefing. Imagine in a day the number of accidents, for example, that happen.
Yeah.
Or ni majambazi tu wameua mtu. But you see, that's a dead body. They've seen or they've been called to collect. I mean, when we hear dead bodies have been taken to dead unknown bodies, of course, when I say bodies, they're already dead. What am I saying?
Yeah.
But when they're taken to the morgues, it's the police who collect the bodies. And so all these things they see. Sometimes they also have to witness postmortems. Sometimes they collect bodies from, I don't know where, Tsavo or whatever. They've been eaten halfway. Alafu kirudi home, usikie maybe wife yako alipitana, because it's only a curtain.
Yeah.
As in, si semi ati nini, si ni vitu ziko. I'm talking about reality.
Yeah.
And let me put it this way. Yeah. Kuna what is on paper, that which is the ideal, na reality kwa ground. Hizo vitu mbili ni vitu tofauti sana tunafaa kuelewa. Yeah? Alafu kitu si usahau pia, hawa ni binadamu, na as much as hapa tutasema police brutality, I want to commend the few who've done tremendous work. Hata wakati wa COVID, we saw some helping. We saw some policemen helping. Hata juzi nimesikia kuna mwingine sijui ni Kwale amepatia na mask. Mtu hakuwa na mask, amempea mask. So it's not like all of them are rotten, for example. Kuna wale wazuri, lakini sasa I think hao wenye wanafanya vitu mbaya, wanafanya mpaka hao wengine hata waonekani. We don't even see them, we don't see the good that they do. At the end of the day, we sleep soundly. Watu uko nje. They don't sleep. Mtu ametoka shift. Something happens in the morning, ameitwa tena job. Hajalala. Maybe even hajakula. Working conditions ndo hizo. In the past 24 hours, zile vitu ameona ni yeye na Mungu wake wanajua. So, there's also that bit. Welfare issues.
So you're saying we want to be treated well by the police. We want them to do their job. In fact, we're not even asking for much. We want just them to follow the guidelines that are set in on paper. But then we're not providing for them to have, as in washow up kawako fiti.
Yes.
But unajua mtu anaweza sema wacha wapange line, kuna madaktari hapo, kuna manurses, kuna teachers. I mean ni kila mtu except politician. Mambo aziendi fiti. But it's interesting that you mentioned that. You said that wanaenda kwa field wanaona vitu ziko violent. You never think about that. Sasa unaona karao tu unaona au fikiri vitu zenye umse amepata kuona, even dealing with violent people. Una arrest mse ametupa mangumi hapo and all sorts of things. But now, guys, there's a new sort of thing, and I'm going to call it new unless someone else can tell me where they've seen it in their parents' time. Mtu ameshikwa na karao. Traffic offense, labda uko kwa matatu hapo, mumeka hapo, like you're listening to me right now, mko kwa matatu. Alafu karao amesimamisha hii matatu, labda imefanya the wrong thing. Anataka kuingia hapo kwa passenger, ameshukisha passenger. Matatu yote imeturn against you karao moja. Imebidi karao akule tu humble pie aende kando. You know, where has this new thing where the public is fighting back come from? Kwambox. What do you think is happening?
Kwambox, I think the problem, as you all say, familiarity breeds contempt. Imefika ile point yenye tumezana makarao hadi tunafeel kama mmoja kitambo manze ungepata na karao akwa tu mse normal. Wazara walikuwa kuna vile alikuwa basi hizo unapata kuna makarao wenyewe wanatuflexia. Get unapata karao anapita akamwambia cheki bro azimezana sana kuna kuzoeana. We've also been exposed to this like the items they use, like the firearms, you see. So we tend to mmoja kitambo ungepata tu firearms msana za shika ovyo, but nowadays everyone has a gun. You see. So I already know say the worst you can do ni hii. Akioperate hii stuff and operate hii design again. So I'll get to kuchukua hiyo kitu because aishaje vile kwenye kitambo ukiogopa kitu unajua kama ujui mseka let's say sijui Cliff vizuri. Nikimwona tu naogopa huyu mse ni nani. Baada mkija Cliff manzi amevaa shati ya maroon pala kuna vest ya black una get Shamzoea.
So unasema hii familiarity ndio inasema ina breed contempt, yani unaangalia msio unasema mimi nakujua.
Exactly.
Mimi sijuani na Karo wako na gun mazee. Gun. Alafu tena pia umesema ati kila mtu akona gun. Akina nani hao?
That's a dangerous statement.
Hapa sasa. Mr. President,
kila mtu akona gun siku hizi. Hebu niambieni hii story. Watu wako na gun. Hiki tu yani inakuanga tu. Okay. Hata hapa kuna mzee hapa nilisikia wana search kwanza. What do you say about react to what he's saying?
Okay. Kwambox, personally growing up, I remember my dad used to tell me daily, nyinyi time mnacheza sana. During our time, kofi ya karau ingepotea, tunaacha kazi tunatafuta wote. Yeah, that's what he used to tell me. And he telling me that the system has changed totally. And on the part of warranty, have you guys noticed, sijui kama ni mimi, the way a person in Westlands, Kileleshwa, Runda is arrested and a person in Ghetto, it's totally different. It's totally different.
Why do you think that is? Where do you think that is?
Social status. The social status you have. One time, a personal story that I even experienced. One time we had a problem. We come from the ghetto, uko. So we...
Uko ni wapi? Represent your ghetto.
Uko, don't home, uko.
Don't you see ghetto?
Ni ghetto, Eastlands. So, we happened to have a problem with tenants problem. So the landlord actually brought goons to our place. So the goons walitandika the tenants. But sasa there was one difference. We were the first people to reach the police. But the wait, the one when alikuwa na wait, won the case. The goons won the case over us. So unashanga umeenda baka na mapi3 unasema nilipigwa. No one listens to you.
Na goon ndio anapeleka kesi.
Yeah, goon anampeleka kesi anasema in fact hao walinipiga. Now anauliza do you reside there? No. What were you doing there? We were just there. But we never won because Karo aliside na the other side. And unajua the hand of the law. Kama uko, it doesn't favor you, doesn't favor you. Aya, tumeongea tu kwa gari. Akiingia kwa gari asimamishe matatu. Why not Prado?
Yeah.
Now we have a problem with the social status. And the problem now, people are retaliating because unajua, mi nikitoka huku Islando, the police are never with us. Ni kama the states right now. The United States, everyone, the Black Lives Matter. Everyone in the black thing, the cops are their enemies. And there's no day watakuja reside wakae chini waseme this person is my friend. Somebody is amebridiwa kijua.
Karoni enemy wako.
Yeah.
So you're saying in Kenya, if we're to equate it to say what's happening in the States, black people ni waswagero, alafu white people ni waswameomoka. Kwa sababu sijaiona mse kwanza hata ile time yenye walikuwa wanafanya curfew, when curfew was being imposed, walikuwa na una chapo wako wase Kibra, Kawangware, lakini ukitembea hapo State House Road hapo Valley Road 7, 8 watu tu wako kwa streets na sio curfew ilikuwa sijui, it's already been implemented. So you think that the way the police approach, they first think economic status, so kwanga wana profile mse?
I think Kwambox do ina play a bigger role kwa hii issue yote ya police brutality.
Unaingia tu hivyo na hiyo story ya do?
Yeah. Okay. Do polisi kuna wase hadi wanajishikia pro bono. Huyu msee atatuambia. Kuna wase wanajishikia pro bono mapema before atawashikwe, mtu asha already tafuta legal services. So unataka kuniambia mtu kama huyo Karawa akienda kumshika. Karawa analipwa basic salary ya 17,000. Unaenda kushika msee mwenye anaingisha kila siku 300,000 in a day. So uwezi polisi mwenyewe hawezi treat huyo msee the same way vile ata treat mtu wa ghetto. So do ina play a bigger role kwa hii situation yote.
Okay, nasikia kwa nini makarao wanaweza, I am understanding why cops would behave the way they do. There's so many reasons. I'm hearing social status so unasema basically you're saying the people who are hired don't have integrity, because I think even if integrity plays a part, yani hata kama sina hiyo pesa na kuna msee millionaire hapa na nifanye kitu mbovu, money won't change who I am.
Money changes.
But where does integrity play a part? I think part of the police nini is integrity.
Integrity, yeah. Polisi kama aliingia hapo kwanza, akiingia kwa hiyo service, aliingia kama ameungana. Nini inamfanya kikuja huku nje asichukue ongo?
All right, we got to take a short break. Of course, kumbuka we got to pay some bills on Morning Vibes. Shout out to everybody mwenye anasikia. Kumbuka tumia your hashtag Kwambox and Kev. Also, we're going to be giving you a chance to call in and share with us what you have to say. We have just about 30 minutes before we end this conversation. Hey! Niko na mabackbenchers hapa pia. Wako na vitu za kusema. Kevin, what's happening on your end? I know you're in studio.
I can hear you clearly. Thank you so much. The conversation is lit. It is crazy. Guys are actually talking big time regarding the questions that you asked out there. Can you reason with the police? Kuna mse hapa hivi anasema, is it possible for us to reason together with the police? Never ever. Alafu David Munyambu says, I agree with hashtag Eddie Mwenda completely. And of course, we've got Arsenalite Saitoti anasema, there is need for the training of police, not only to concentrate on physical training, but much of community policing should be given time. This makes them to start to reason from a humane point of view, which the government should take much consideration on police intake, because easy backdoors are costing us. Hey, can you just... All right, so there you go. So he says, consideration police taking it because backdoors are costing us big time. People people who have no passion and drive for the job are given a chance, hence corruption and brutality is witnessed. So he's just talking about how majority of the police officers don't even want to be there. I want a passion, so wanafa kupatia people who truly have an interest in serving the community. And then there's a brother called David Munyambu pia anasema bado, yes, I can reason with the police. Mike anasema, in this current government, you're gonna end up like Bobby Wine. And then we have AV Chui anasema, watu wa kitu kidogo, I can never reason with them. Sammy says, how now? Never in Kenya. John Kabara anasema haiwezi make it. Kef Ademale says yes you can, but not the Kenyan police. So guys, you can actually call in on 0719012700. Throw in your questions for Kina Shilla. They are at Taifa Hall. Remember, we're having a Mjadala, amazing Mjadala session with the team at University of Nairobi main campus, Taifa Hall. So yeah, also stream live. It is www.vibesradio.co.ke. Back to you, Shilla. Shilla. All right, so we're going to get back into the music. Alafu tukirudi. Yes. Go on, Shilla.
We're going to be having some amazing performances by students at University of Nairobi. So tukimaliza conversation on Mjadala, tunaingia performances na dancing. Tunaanza the day with the right kind of vibes. Shout out to you, DJ Young. Take it away.
Vibes Radio, we rule the nation in this generation.
Man like DJ Young. Hey, sema mziki kudonjo. Yeah, man. Remember, you are live on Morning Vibes, and this is where we have important conversations. And today, tuna broadcast live from Taifa Hall, that's University of Nairobi. We brought Mjadala Court of Public Opinion to the public and hear what your opinions are on some of the matters. And this is actually something that will be happening every month. And of course, kauna tusikiza na unataka tukuje kampasi yako bana, tume hiyo message tuje kwa sababu if we don't have these conversations, as nimekuambia wanasema average age ya Kenya ni 19. So nani ndio anafaa kuwa kiongea juu ya vitu zenye zina happen kwa country? Ni my youth them. And a massive shout out, by the way, thank you so much for you guys waking up early and availing time to be part of this conversation. Kama ndio umeingia sahi kwa mtandao, kumbuka hashtag ni Kwambox and Kev. Leo tunaongea juu ya police brutality, and we're just trying to understand where ile relationship ya makarao na public ilivunjika. And I think it's important to just reiterate that as a panel here, we all agree that si makarao wote ni wabaya, lakini kuna individuals huko wameoza ile ya kupindukia. Ile yani baka hata hakuna uvundo, sasa ni vumbi tu. So, kuna swali hapo, of course, tulikuwa tumeuliza on socials. Arsenalite anasema there is no need for training police, not to only concentrate on physical training, but there's much needing for community policing should be given time. This makes them start to reason from a humane point of view. Okay, thank you so much. Arsenalite mwingine ndio anasema reasoning with the police in Kenya is something almost impossible. I prefer fighting with a policeman to resist arrest than giving in, then later losing big time and resources buying freedom. Are you listening to the words this guy is using? Buying freedom. And unless there are many and I have to free, police can never be trusted. Wow. Police haezi ni gonga, ni nyamazie hivo. Kofi kwa kofi, risasi kwa nyingine. Jesus. David mwingine anasema it is impossible for us to reason together with our police. And anasema ana agree with Eddie Mwenda. Nyado Kevin hapa anasema hawa Kenya Z. Very few can reason with you, but also it depends how heavy your pocket is. Mnakubaliana nayo? Nini mfuko pekee ndio inaongea. Ras Madikola anasema Kwambox, for me the reason raia wanachangamkia Sanze ni juu hata wao huwatesa when they get the chance. The videos are trending. Why should we treat them good when they don't do that? So this is, of course, a lot of people agree that this reciprocation of violence is what I'm going to call it, reciprocation. Is because, for lack of a better term, Wakenya wamefika ile place here where they are saying, kaende. I don't have money to pay. I don't have... there's a video I saw of a guy qua traffic. Sijui kama mliona, it was in December, which actually spurred us to have this conversation. Because we're like, I think we all agree that it's not right. Whether the police are... the violence is towards the public or whether the violence is towards the police. We all agree that it's not right. Kwa sababu kumbuka hii ni ile ofisi yenye, when your house is being broken into, who do you call? Yeah, you can't call your squad at you guys have been robbed. Let's go investigate. You got to go to the police. You know what I mean? Whether unawapenda ama wapendi, you still have to go back to the police. So we agree that we need to mend relations. Now I'm going to start with backbenchers. I just want us to quickly, mention what you as the public, you as young people, what do you think we can do to remedy the relationship between the public and police? I'm going to start with you. Sema jina alafu tuambie remedy.
Oh, thank you. My name is Grace. I think the only remedy that we have to bring a good relationship between the police and the citizens, it's by bringing back or making the units that were there, were formerly there. Okay, they are still there, but no one knows about them, like the Internal Affairs Unit and the IPOA. But very few people know that these units exist, like the Internal Affairs Unit. Very few people knows that it exists, and it is supposed to check on how the police work, and impose penalties where they don't do what is right. The few who know that it exists, they don't trust it, because it is believed that it covers for its colleagues the crimes. When they commit the crimes, it's covered up. So we can't trust it. But if we bring it back, but now it comes in the right way, inakuja kutusaidia not to cover up on their crimes, then I think it will help bridge the gap, the bad relationship that has been there.
All right, so she mentions IPOA and internal affairs, anasema ikirudi itasaidia, lakini tuseme kweli Wakenya wanasema mimi ndashtakiaje Karao investigatiwe na makarao wenzake. That's one of the biggest challenges with IPOA. Guys are like, mimi nenda kushtaki Karao ndio ifike wapi. Introduce yourself and tell us your solution.
Yeah, Omogambi Kobi Amos. Yeah, my solution is very simple. Mi na agree sana na Eddie. Anasema tunafaa to reason together na polisi. But ukiangalia the way they are recruited to the police service, ndio haiwezi allow to reason together. Unapata hawa ni wale wase mostly ni rejects wa community in a way. Wale kwa kuiweka in that way. But unapata ni wale wase wa D+ and below. Unaona? Sasa
waliona solution. D+ ni reject wewe?
Sasa ni hivyo in a way. Set ni reject. Hawezi kuwa absorbed kwa tuseme kama ni kwa campuses and stuff. So ni wale wase depression.
Tunaweza tertiary.
Cheki, depression ilianzaga from akimalizaga shule. So anaweka kwa kazi ya taki, unaona? Anapatiwa rules za taki. So atawatreat venye hataki. Unaona? So kama ni solution according to my view, jaribu kuincorporate wase pia wenye wamepita kiasi. Lose hiyo isquat ni wale wase madanda peke yake. Juu unapata mostly unapata hata si kubaya, but those guys ni wase unapata walianza kusumbua kutoka high school. Hakuwa anasoma. Unaona? So amemaliza shule, the only thing anaweza fanya ni kuingia police.
Wewe sasa wewe venye uko hivi unasomea nini?
Mimi ni interior design.
Interior design, uache interior design ungeambiwa kuna option ya kwa Karao
ingia. Lakini iko lose in a way i accommodate kila mtu. So kumaanisha hata salaries zikuwe zina reason pia. watakaa ni kuwa na sessions zenye wanaenda kuwa wanafunzwa, unaona, zina make sense kukuwa na hiyo counseling, waambiwe chenye wana expect kwa community. Like ikuwe ni kama cadet. Cadet ni msemo mnaweza reason together.
Okay.
But hata pia wako hapo kutuchunga. Alafu another point, how pia police tusione venye wako hivyo ni waone wanataka. They are being forced to be like that. Unapata nilikuja kurealize in a way the earn salary iko chini. Hiyo pesa yenye wanaomba kwa barabara si yao. Kuna wase wako na tumbo kubwa huko wameketi kwa ofisi wanangoja. Unaona?
So
at the end of the day anapatiwa target ya 20k. Anatoka hapo hivyo na K1. Unaona? Na kafikishi hiyo 20k anaambiwa sijui nitakufukuza nikupeleke sijui Garissa. Wewe uteseke uko na sababu
this I think it's important that we chime in and say allegedly. Allegedly. Unless you kuna evidence hizo occurrences.
Na like watafute in a way, yes walikuja saini police service. So tunafaa to expect police ni mse anaenda kuwork kama babangu anaenda kuwork, maybe ni polisi pia hivyo, unaona. Isikuwa tu wanawekwa kwa turu mtu mwingine fani alafu tuna expect
so nasema welfare.
Welfare.
Yeah. All right, thank you so much. Utasema jina point ni moja we are trying to fix the relationship between the police and the public. What's your solution?
Thank you for this. My name is Bimbis Jina Kubwa.
Jina Kubwa?
Yeah, Jina Kubwa kama mall. First of all, we have to realize that police officers are human beings, just like us. So I think we need not to focus so much on judging on what they do. Because if I was in a position of being a police officer and I get you in trouble and you give me 5,000, siwezi kata. So we also need to look it at a perspective that this is also a human being.
So tukubali kuarestiwa?
No, tusikubali. I think the police service in Kenya and in Africa in general, it needs a renaissance. It needs a breakdown, and we need to start afresh. If you look at it from far, police brutality is something that has been imposed on us as Africans. Why is it that police brutality is not rampant, let's say in the US but in Kenya, it's too much. It's something that has been imposed on us. So we need to change the way we think. For me, I will suggest that the police should interact more with the citizens. And how will this happen? They'll interact more with the citizens if you have platforms like this. And you bring a police officer hapa. Tuongee na yeye. Yeah.
All right. So we need to find more social settings that we can.
Kabla
hata upatane na karao hapo kwa street, at least tushazoea kuongea na karao.
Hata sasa nikishikwa naweza sema acha nipigie mtu
nani, lakini ukishikwa nafaa kubali kushikwa. Sasa niulize kwa sababu hiyo point yako hapo Salu ulianza ulisema that police are also humans. Ukipatiwa 5k kawe ni karao hauwezi kataa. So pia wananchi ukubali kuarestiwa. Kama umefanya makosa kubali, usikue haraka tu kutoa pesa kwa mfuko.
Yes.
All right. I'm going to give you a chance to also tell us what you're thinking. Remember guys, we are coming up with solutions. We want to kitu hatutashinda tu tuna complain at police wananchi. We must reach a common ground. Tuambie jina yako na solution.
Okay. My name is Nyoka Biwaweru. So for me, I feel like police brutality is a product of frustration on the part of the police. And I say that because there's a time, there was a small documentary that Boniface Mwangi did on the training that the police go through. From then, they receive inhumane treatment. And then they get into the police service and you look at, for example, the salaries they get, the kind of houses they get. So I think it's as a result of the frustration, they now take it of all the treatment and then the poor, the living conditions and then the salary, they now result, that's what, now when it comes to the citizens, they act out on us because of that. So for me, I think that one of the solutions would be now like going back to the basics, like now changing the whole training, and then now also, just a whole, the way he said, renaissance and reformation of the police service. And I feel like now that's what would help. And then now on top of that, having like those organizations like IPO are actually doing their, as in actually bringing justice to certain cases, so that you don't see that, okay, some cases go to court, but CG, I don't know, when the court hearing was supposed to be today, I don't know what happened. A file got lost.
The evidence
and
disappeared.
then evidence has disappeared. So those two things, like justice is actually brought, and then now going back to the basics. and
Rehauling
forming.
everything.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that one, lady in goggles. The
Hi.
other- Hi.
I am Cherono from the Mighty Kai, and I feel like as much as police are brutal towards us, it's also our duty to know our rights. I support what Eddie said. I think it's important for us to know our rights. So that at least we can build a resistance, which is a reasonable resistance. Badala ya mangumi, venye watu wanapigana. You say your part, say your right. Unajua, know your rights. I've been arrested. I have a right to do this and this. I think that would be important.
Have you tried these actions?
Yes, it wasn't successful, but yes,
Yeah,
I've tried.
because
Thanks so
and
much.
you know that usually it's easier said than done when you're trying to reason like around and say, oh, unaleta kichwa. Like, no, I'm just trying to tell you my name, you know.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Backbench, you should clap for yourselves. You're really. Kuna mse ame point out wewe. This is my dream reggae anasema ambia huyo boy wa interior design awache mbaya ati wase wa D ndio who join police service. Mimi niko na Arif alipata A- na aka join police service. Being a police is a calling, not a request of your KCSE results. And there's this really, I don't know, in a different setting we'll have this conversation. Hii story yenye watu wanasema makarao wakwangi learned, you know. And I always ask, unaweza chukua watu wawili wenye wakona mmoja hakuna taki ya kulani hiyo kitu na mwingine hana hiyo taki, right? You can have someone who has A and someone who has D. Huyo D anataka kulani hiyo system na huyo A ataki. Who will produce a better result there? Yeah, so I don't think it boils down to the result, because I've seen CEOs who had D na say watakuhaya. Alright.
Yeah, so mimi nilikuwa nasema in a way, huyo mwenye amesema ati mtu alikuwa employed kwa police service na
A-
ama A-, hiyo ukienda uko above C plane hata unafukuzwa, like ufai kuwa hapa.
Okay.
Kwa hiyo recruitment, so hiyo basi aliingia kwa njia ya yenye sasa my friend alikuwa akisema
labda alitumia backdoor.
Yeah, backdoor.
All right,
no, which are the same thing, akikuja hata at bara atataka hiyo kurudisha yenye ali. So I don't agree with him.
Okay, you don't agree. All right. Mrege, I hope umesikia amesema pia hiyo story yako ya MNS bana unadanganya nani. All right, let's come to the front row. Remember, we are giving solutions. We are 18 minutes past 9 a.m. Asante sana to everybody who's tuned in right now. We're trying to repair relations between police and the public. Ukipata na karao unamshika mashati kwa nini? Ulisikia wapi? Kubali kushikwa, lakini pia karao wa reason. But clearly there's a breakdown. What's your solution?
Ulisikia wapi? Now, what happens? I just have one solution. I was really suggesting in the BBI report, if we can, if the police can, if we can, of course, the standard of our police is what makes them the person they are.
Yeah.
If you can improve their standard, personally, if you can make a police force a career, where you unaingia pale vizuri unasomeshwa, at least not even the training, at least you start from a very good salary. Kwambox, let me ask you a simple question. Says with our economy, you're being paid 17,000 shillings, basic salary. You have bills to pay. You have children to take to school. Here is school fees up to a primary nursery school. So how do you expect this person to fend for his family and also fend for himself? So I'll just suggest, instead of our leaders, our member of parliament increase their salary, kindly, if you can have a threshold where at least we make a police force a career, where we start with a minimum, a basic salary which makes sense, and also improve their livelihood. If you check on just my family, I have an uncle who is a police officer. At first, he didn't like the force until he was added some position. That's when at least he started liking the position. You see, but then you find come to a P2 hapa chini, manze place anaishi ni, but look at someone like Mtambai. Yeah, kuna escort.
What would you suggest the minimum amount would be?
I think at least 50,000 shillings monthly makes sense. Because
do we all agree with 50K?
Yeah, because that's a basic, even graduate, that's where we all start from. A common graduate, you see. So with that, at least you even give these police officers ample time to even, at least.
But what if someone argues and says, you see at it's by force, uli tafute your kazi. So you went in knowing.
Actually,
salary ningapi.
Salary ningapi. You know what happens?
In fact, I talk a bribe.
Of course, what happens?
Force.
That 70,000 shillings, it is better off than staying a whole month without nothing. So we're always there because we are desperate, not because we are going for it with something you love. No, desperate na kupeleka pale. So that's why even ukipata hiyo anyway, you're just there to kusongesha maisha. So you're not taking your job seriously. But the moment you go there, I can see the way you're jamming to the songs. Like you love the thing you're doing.
Yeah.
You know. But the moment ungekuwa una brana na kukwambia, "Wewe Kwambox uko wapi? Ingia show."
But nikuulize, and I want to bring you back to where does the passion for the job come in? You know, because passion, even without money, you should be able to do it.
No.
So unaingia hapo ukijua mi nataka kuserve and protect. Yes, they might not be umepatiwa bunduki, umepatiwa truck, hiyo Land Cruiser, endo fanye hii kazi. It might be tough, but you have to work and climb the ranks. Inabidi sasa since umeingia hapo useme, ai, hapana, lazima nifanye corruption.
Okay, what happens? Passion comes not even necessarily money, but then living sana. Kama asubuhi you can get your basic needs. Hata place unaishi ni vitu. Wewe imagine umema kwa ile the cage hiyo nyumba ya mabati. Unakuprotect mse akona mansion. Hata kama ni passion, do you even feel ni kama
nitamuibia?
Exactly. That is the thing. So that is basically the thing.
Yeah.
So nataka ile place yenye at least tuko na hiyo, hata kama si pesa basi, even good structure for them. I stay in Madaraka. Hapo you get kuna AP hapo. Ukiangalia manyumba zao manze hata wewe utawaona.
Na huyo ndio msee unapigia mtu akibreak into your house.
Sisi pale tunaishi flats manze ni mpaka 12 floor iko na swimming pool, yet pale wakara naishi ni place manze. So we really need to improve the work standards.
Umesema 50K ndio kwa minimum. Sijui kama nasikia najua Mtembea anatusikia wamesema salary increase iwe to 50K. Hapo sijui tutaslice kutoka sitting allowance ya manini kwa sababu mimi sielewangi na kuangalia nini. Zaina, tukimalizia, let's try and keep it short because muda unatupatia kisogo. What's your solution?
First, we have to start with our perceptions. Let's change our perceptions and see police as humans. And let them see us as fellow humans, kwanza. And then second, as Hakefka, we've already started initiating dialogues between community members and security actors.
Yeah.
And there's a difference. Once you do 1, 2, 3 dialogues, the perception changes. Community members are now willing to sit and talk and discuss. Police wenyewe are also willing to share their frustrations. And actually they need us because we are the ones to influence policy to change so that they are now catered for. Your welfare tunaongelelea, it's hard for them to shout about it. Yeah? So that for me will work if we...
So we see them as human, we humanize them and they humanize us.
Yes, and then we talk and discuss and so that mwananchi ndio akuwe na advocate for polisi apewe
better rights.
Yeah.
Lakini mwananchi ataanzia wapi? Mwananchi hata saleka daktari yako kwa barabara, hauna daktari kwa nini? Anasema the rights of doctors, munaangalia wakivutwa kazi hamsini kitu yote.
Okay.
Daktari.
Si kitu rahisi. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. But at least let's try.
All right. We're going to take a short commercial break in a bit, but keep them tweets coming in. Of course, hashtag ni Kwambox and Kev. Lakini tuendelee. Tupatie point yako. Point yako ni gani? Solution.
That the disciplined forces have become the indisciplined forces. You know, police service is supposed to be an independent body, but you see, the police are recruited by the police commission, but their salaries are paid by the Ministry of Interior and Coordination, which is under the presidency.
Yeah.
So you see, the police are under someone. I just want to say that the politicians, please stop using the police to push for your own interests. Let the police do their work of maintaining law and order. Secondly is, please, the recruiting body of the police, please start recruiting police cadets who will be officers in the police service. They will be the one implementing the policies. The policies are there, but just on paper.
Yeah.
But kwa ground, vitu ni different. So if we're told there will be officers who will even undergo like 4-year training or 3-year training, not necessarily the 11 months for the servicemen, so that there will be cadets who will be coming to be the administrative part of the police. They will just be staying in the office and ensuring that these policies that are on paper are being done on ground.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like the solutions. Hatuna nafasi kusikia point ya kila mtu in terms of solutions, but thank you so much, guys, for being part of the conversation. And I love the fact that student leaders and students are being part of this conversation, because the truth is, si tutamaliza shule alafu umemaliza na makarao forever and ever. And we must, as we wind up, as much as tumewabash kwanza wewe, we must also commend. There are police that are doing an amazing job. Mi unajua mi ushukuru karao kwanza kwa sababu hakuna mtu amebreak in kwa nyumba yangu. Hiyo inamaanisha kuna msee pali amesacrifice time yake na life yake kunijenga. Traffic, you see traffic officers the whole day ameng'ang'ana hapo. Na ukumbuke huyo msee ako na hiyo 17k mshande. Ameamka anaonesha na traffic hivi, hata yako na familia nini. Hawezi hata una Mkenya hata akimpatia maji ya kunywa. Unanielewa, lakini ukigongana hapo kwa nini unamwita hapo na hasira. So I think we should also commend and not just always condemn. Thank you guys so much, and you guys have been fantastic. Kevin,
Wagwan,
coming back to you in studio, how you doing?
We are doing all right over here. We're just enjoying the conversation, and I'm telling you, the engagement has been epic. Shout outs to you guys over there.
Wewe umesikia kuna mtu hapa amesema kuna azima karao ni wasiwa. But you know what, this is the rhetoric that is sometimes on ground.
Right.
And shout out to everybody who's coming. This has been an amazing conversation. I've learned so much. And I hope you have to.
Yeah, also big shout outs to everyone who, especially all the panelists over there. We really enjoyed the conversations. Waseni Washapuko, the University of Nairobi.
the university.
Yeah. And remember, guys, this conversation goes on the hashtag Kwambox and Kev to patani hapo hivyo kwenye rather on the handle @VibesRadioKE. We're also streaming live right now. You can enjoy the conversation, or rather the seminar that's happening down at Taifa Hall at the University of Nairobi. It's www.vibesradio.co.ke. Tutakuwa na performances hivi nini.
Kev bana, unafikiri history imeisha? All play and no, inaitwaje? All work and no play.
Work and no play.
Tuko na performances, yani there are 2 artists who are going to be performing here. Unajua University of Nairobi wanakuanga wa smart pia wanakuanga wa talent.
Wasewa, the whole package, the full package.
Sharp. Na nasikia makarao kama najua mnasikia. Kujeni mfanye recruitment hapa. University of Nairobi. There's some brains up wanasema they are ready to help transform.
I think it's also
sport.
I think it's also important to know to say this, that this event is just the first of very many kamkunjis that we're going to be having around the country, probably in schools as well. This is really amazing. So unadai kutu host, you can actually DM us. You can hit us up on the number that's 0719012700. Unaweza tupata hapo pia on social media rather. Just tell us where you are. Tell us why you want us to have an engagement with your school, maybe. And we'll take it to the next level.
Absolutely. Let's get back to DJ Young hooking us up with music. Alafu tukirudi, ma ching,
my freestyle.
Vibes Radio, we rule the nation in this generation.